Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing my Sephora haul with you. I went to the store on the first day of the sale and I went to two different Sephoras actually, and today we're going to do an old-fashioned YouTube makeup haul because it's fun. And a lot of you said you wanted to see just a haul by itself, so that's what we're going to do. I have both my bags because like I said, I went to two stores. And we're just gonna see what I got. I love these videos. They're so much fun. I love to watch hauls too. I know they are kind of an older video style on YouTube, but I don't know. There's just something fun about it. So I'm gonna share what I got with you today. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube. I hope you'll subscribe and let's get into the haul. All right, we'll start with the store I went to first. I don't know what is going on with Sephora. I'm sure you've probably seen on social media if you haven't experienced it yourself. I don't know what's going on, but Sephora, in all the years I've been shopping the Sephora sale, I've never seen the app or the website not work like this. Like I said, I went to the store the first day of the sale. I do that pretty much every sale. And while I was in the store, I often will get on the Sephora app when I'm there, and I will do that just to see swatches of things, or just, I do that sometimes. I look at reviews, I do all kinds of things. And I was in the store and I kept opening the app and it kept freezing and shutting off. Like I could not get the app to stay open. So at the time I thought it was just mine, until later that day I got home and I started seeing things all over the place about how Sephora's app was not working. I don't know what's going on. It seemed to be working better today when I got up, but it's been like over 48 hours since the sale started, so I don't know. I think a lot of you have had the same experience, but anyway, let's get into what I bought. The first thing is this from Makeup Forever. This is the HD Skin Matte Velvet powder. I got this because several of you and Martina, my friend Martina Lilly here on YouTube, we talked the day before the sale. She told me I needed this powder, so I listened and I got it. I got the shade 1 in 10. And several of you actually in the past have told me that I need to try this powder. Martina said she uses it when she uses like a lighter coverage foundation or skin tint, and then she'll use this to add a little bit more coverage in areas. I've seen some people say they use it as a setting powder to kind of add a little bit more coverage in certain areas. So hopefully I end up liking this. I haven't seen like anything negative about this powder, and I figured it was about time to try it. I hope this is a good shade. I think it should be 1 in 10. Feels really velvety and thin on my hand, so I am excited to try this. Let me know if you have this and if you like it and how you use it. Or you can obviously wear it just as a powder foundation if that is your thing. I might even try that actually. But I am so excited to try this powder. Then I ended up getting the Gucci concealer. So I was kind of thinking of getting this one or the new YSL concealer, and actually the Sephora I went to had both in store. I almost got the YSL also, but I don't know, when I was swatching the YSL concealer, it did not really impress me. Just sometimes with concealers I can tell if I'm gonna like it or not just based on how they swatch on my hand, and that one just wasn't speaking to me. I don't know, something told me that I wasn't gonna love that one, so I didn't end up getting that, but I did get this. I've been curious about this since it released a few months ago. If you are wanting the Gucci concealer, I can confidently say I would highly recommend going to a store that has it if possible, so you can see the shades in person, because the shade that I went with was not even close to what I would have ordered if I just ordered it online. The shades are all over the place. They run really light number one, and the undertones are all over the place, like the warm shades. Some of them are really warm, some of them don't look warm at all, but yet they're a warm undertone. The neutral shades, some are neutral, some definitely lean extremely warm, but yet they're a neutral shade. And some of the cool shades looked warm to me. So I don't know. I ended up going with the shade 25N. So I think this should be a good shade. This looked pretty like a true neutral to me when I was swatching them, but I had a hard time picking the color on this. So I would recommend, if you can, to go to a store, but this actually feels pretty good to me. Yeah, I think hopefully that should be a good shade. I've heard some people saying they really like it, and then I've also heard people say they weren't crazy about it, that it was kind of drying. It doesn't feel super drying on my hand, so I am very excited to try this. Plus, I mean, look how cute this concealer is. I mean, makes you just kind of want to try it just because of how cute this lid is with the flowers on it. Anyway, so it was between this and the YSL. I went with the Gucci. It would not be a Blair haul without a Patrick Ta blush. This is one of his newer shades in She's Wanted. This shade has been getting a lot of attention on social media. I think last time I checked, it's out of stock online, but this is a very deep shade for my skin tone, but I keep seeing people with lighter skin tones using this and just kind of being really careful with it. And the color is just so pretty. So we're gonna try it. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of similar to his Oh She's Different shade, if you're familiar with that. That shade is kind of like a mauve-y plum color. This is more of a berry shade, but they're a little bit similar. But from what I've seen, you can actually kind of sheer this out and wear it even if you have a lighter skin tone. Something about this color, like the undertone of this color, is just so pretty to me. So that is the cream and that is the powder. It's like kind of like a berry with a cooler undertone, like a more blue undertone. I don't know, but they had it in store. In fact, they only had one, so I took that as my sign that I needed this shade She's Wanted. So I will try this out in a video coming up and let you know. But you guys know me and the Patrick Ta blushes. They are my favorite. Okay, this next one I had absolutely no intention of buying at all until I saw it in person. I saw the tester. It was like a brand new tester they had just put out, and I swatched it. And yeah, I was like, I'm not leaving without that. Pat McGrath, the Bijoux Brilliance in Bronze Ecstasy. So this is one of the 5-pan palettes from her. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. Blair, you shouldn't have gotten that. You should have ordered it from Pat McGrath when she does a sale because her sales are much better. I know, but listen. I couldn't wait, okay? I swatched this and I had to have it, okay? I had to have it. So I know I should have waited for Pat McGrath. I know, but I didn't. So here it is. This, I saw Martina got this and she did a video on it. I remember in the video I was thinking how pretty it was. I love the colors, of course. I think there are 4 different color stories of these, and of course, what did I do? I got the neutral one because that's who I am. But in person, this looked even prettier than it looked on video when I swatched them. So yeah, I had to have it, you guys. I had to. I couldn't leave without it. Let me swatch it for you quickly. What I will say is I've heard for years since she's been doing these 5-pans. She did some of these last year. I didn't end up getting them, and I always wanted to, and then I couldn't find them anymore. But I've always heard people talk about how much better or how good in general this formula is in these 5-pans, and they are such nice formulas. I absolutely know what people are talking about now. They're like the mattes are not really matte. They're like, they almost feel like a cream to powder formula. Very creamy, but they have a matte finish. I don't know. They don't even really have a matte finish. Like, that's one of the mattes there, and that's a matte there. They're very silky, smooth, and just buttery feeling. They feel so, so good. But this shade right here on the end, this one really got me. But okay, let me stop talking and finish swatching this. I don't know, but something about this, when I swatched these colors, I was like, oh yeah, that's coming home with me. So there it is. And yeah, I'm not a Pat McGrath expert by any means. I don't have a ton of Pat McGrath, but the formula on this feels totally different than her Mothership palettes or her quads. So I'm really happy with this. Yeah, but don't, trust me, I know I should have waited for the Pat McGrath sale, okay? And to be honest, I'm pretty good about waiting for sales with anything else except makeup. Once I decide that I want a makeup product, I want it, like right then. I don't want to wait for the sale, you know? Even though this was on sale, I know I could have gotten it on a better sale. Anyway, if you get it, you get it. Also, something I wanted to say at the beginning of the video is I actually met a subscriber at Sephora on Friday. So Barbara, if you're watching, it was so great meeting you and chatting with you. Thank you so much for saying hi. You literally made my entire day by speaking to me, so thank you so much. If you ever happen to see me somewhere, please say hi, and I would love to meet you and chat with you. So Barbara, if you're watching, it was so nice meeting you. It literally just made my whole day. I was smiling the whole rest of the day. All right, I got a few things from Makeup by Mario. I feel like every single sale I get at least one product from Makeup by Mario. Actually, you know what? I got 3 products from Makeup by Mario. I got one at the other Sephora that I went to. First thing is this. I honestly don't really have a reason for this purchase other than there's a makeup artist that I love so much on Instagram. I know you've heard me talk about her, Kellyanne, Makeup XKA on Instagram. She is always using this brush. Every time I see her on her stories or she does lives over there a lot, she's using this brush. Every time I see her use it, I think I need this brush in my life. It's the F1 from Mario, obviously. And something about me, I don't know if I've ever really said this in a video, but I love makeup brushes. I love them. Like, I have plenty of makeup brushes, and I mean, I have more than enough. I don't need to ever buy another makeup brush ever again, but I love brushes. I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is, but I love them. The F1 is an angled brush like this, and then it has a small, kind of a concealer size brush that's a little bit angled also, but every time I see her use this brush, I want it. So I've had it on my loves list for a while in the Sephora app. So I did end up getting this, and I actually have I have 2 other Makeup by Mario brushes, and I love them, especially this one, the F4. This is the one that came out with his Surreal Skin foundation. So it's 2 angled ends. Actually, I think I included this in my recommendations video. But anyway, I have this one, and then I also have this one, which is the F2. It's like 2 powder brushes. One's a little bit larger, one's a little bit smaller. But I love these. So I now have the F1, and I am so excited. And then the other thing I got is one of his lip liners. I have so many of his lip liners. I feel like every single sale I end up buying at least one. I really like his lip liners a lot. You do get a sharpener with his lip liners, if you didn't know. The one that I got is the shade Hugh. So this is more of like a rosy mauve, which is, of course, my favorite if you know me. So that is the shade Hugh right there, but it looks like it should be pretty similar to my natural lip color. So I've been trying to look for lip liners that have that kind of rosy mauve-y undertone lately, because that seems to be what I like the most. But anyway, I did get that in the shade Hugh. Okay, I got an Hourglass Phantom Volumizing Glossy Balm. This is another thing I've had on my loves list for a really long time, and I picked up the shade Rise 100. I'm not sure if this is one of the newer shades. I think they recently expanded these and added a few more shades. This one is the shade Rise, and I swatched this in store and I just love the color. It's kind of a cooler, light beige, I would say. It's really pretty. Actually, I think it's going to be perfect with that lip liner. So that is it there. If you know me, you know how much I love glossy, balmy kind of lip products. I love the YSL Candy Glaze lip balms. I actually almost bought another color of those, but I ended up going with the Hourglass instead just to try something different. I love the Mario Moisture Glow lip serums. So I love the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips. All very similar type of lip products, but that's what I like. That's what I wear on a daily basis. So I did get that from Hourglass. All right, moving right along. All right, I have two products here. These are, I guess, kind of random. One of them's really random. They're from Anastasia. So this brow product is something I've had on my list for a long time. This is the Brow Powder Duo. And I wanted to try this because I love my Rare Beauty Brow Duo that I talk about all the time. I don't think I have it up here, but you know what I'm talking about. The little long pink Rare Beauty Duo. You get two colors with the little brush. And ever since I tried that product, I realized how much I love a powder in my brows. And I've never really done that before. So I got this one in the shade Medium Brown. So you get the darker shade and the lighter shade in here, just because I want to try other brow powders since I know that I really like that in my brows now. So I got that, which is very random. Those have been around forever. And then, okay, this, I have had this on my list since it was released as well. And then I saw it in person, and this is another thing. This highlighter, you guys. The Glow Seeker highlighter. So I think this came out about a month or so ago, and I think this is supposed to be very similar to the Amrezy highlighter from years ago. If you've been on YouTube for a long time and you've been watching makeup videos for a long time, the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter was such a huge thing there for a while, and it was limited edition. You couldn't get it after a while. You could buy them off Poshmark or eBay or something like that. Actually, I did buy one off Poshmark years ago because I was dying to have it. But anyway, this is the highlight, and okay, the packaging is really, it's heavy. It's very chunky for a highlight, but you guys, just look at this highlighter, okay? Look at that. I mean, I swatched it when I was in Sephora, and I was like, yeah, this is made in Italy. So usually things that are made in Italy are very, very nice. But this is a huge highlighter too. I feel like you would never go through this, but that is it there. How pretty is that? It's definitely a warmer, more of a golden champagne highlighter, but I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist it. The packaging's a little chunky for me is the only thing, but anyways, I saw it in person, and here we are. All right, we're almost done with store number one. Now this is another thing. I really didn't have any intention of buying this either. I didn't expect these to be in store when I saw them. One of these YSL mini clutch palettes. This is in the shade Caspa Spices 300. Caspa, I don't know, I'm probably saying that wrong. But these, first of all, I mean, I've seen people reviewing these on YouTube, but look at this. Got like the leather feeling packaging. They win. In terms of a quad, this is one of the prettiest quads I've ever seen, just looking at it. These colors, of course, more neutral because I'm a neutral kind of girl. So I swatched these, and again, honestly, this formula kind of reminds me, now that I think about it, of that Pat McGrath formula. I don't know what they're doing to these shadows now, but I feel like eyeshadows are just getting so good, you know? Yeah, like the creaminess of these colors, or this formula, is just really, really nice. I also really loved the Stora Dolls shade, the number 100. I know a lot of people really like that one. It's much cooler toned, but this is the swatches here. But I mean, these just feel luxe, like really high quality shadows. But they do remind me of Pat McGrath. I'm just now realizing this as I'm swatching them. But I mean, I cannot wait to use this. I mean, come on, look at that. I also planned to get a Lash Clash in brown. If you watch my recommendations video, I love the YSL Lash Clash. And both Sephora's I went to had no brown. So I guess I'm gonna have to try to order that. And last but not least, I have a product from Fenty. Again, yes, I know I could have gotten it cheaper during Black Friday, most likely. I know Fenty usually does sales, but again, I was impatient and I wanted it now. So this is another thing I've been thinking about for a while. I actually saw Kelly Gooch talking about this. This is the Fenty Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer. So I have the Fenty Cream Bronzer in Butter Biscuit, and that is a fantastic cream bronzer. I love that one. But if there is something in my collection that I don't have a holy grail of, it's powder bronzer. I have ones that I like, don't get me wrong. There are some that I definitely like, but I feel like I'm still searching for the perfect powder bronzer. And I don't know if this will be it or not, but this is the shade Into Sun, which is the lightest shade, and it's very, very light. It looks very light. So I want to try this on my face and see what I think. It doesn't look that light here. If you look at it in person, it looks pretty light. Like it might not be dark enough, but I have a suspicion that this might be a really good color. It's very neutral, which is really hard to find in bronzers. Usually they lean one way or the other. This is very neutral and it feels like a really nice formula. I love the Fenty creams, like I said, so I'm excited to try this, but Kelly Gooch swears by this bronzer. I hear her talk about it so much. So that is it there. Now, you can't even really see it on my hand. See that there? So I don't know if it's gonna work. I do have some self-tan on right now and it's kind of starting to wear off, but I still have some on my hands. So when I'm really fair, I feel like this might be okay, but we'll see. All right, moving on to what I picked up at the second store. I didn't get as many things as at the second store. Okay, but I did get a few things they did not have at the first store. So depending on the Sephora you're at, there are certain brands that are only at certain Sephoras. So that's why I usually end up going to more than one. I did get another shade in the Merit Solo Shadows. So I have the shade Vachetta, which I love. And I kind of went back and forth on this, which color I want to get. I ended up going with Viper, which is the green, the dark green, because I love greens. I almost went with Mid-Century, which is like the mid-toned brown, and then there's Brune, which is the darker brown. I couldn't decide, but I ended up going with this one. So this is like a dark forest green. I kind of want to use this as like a smoky eyeliner or something with the lighter brown shade that I have, but that is it there.
I don't have a single shadow in green, no, I don't. I don't have any single shadows in a color like this, so I'm excited to have another one. I can't wait to try it with the warmer color that I have. Okay, this I was really excited to see in store. This is the new brand CL or CLA, CL I'm guessing, from Sephora. I've seen a bunch of people raving about this brand and particularly this product. This is their tinted serum with SPF 50. And it is 12% zinc oxide, but I didn't expect them to have this brand in store. I was thinking this would be online only, but I swatched this and it felt really, really good, and they had the shade that I wanted, so decided we would try this out. So this is what it looks like. It's really nice, heavy, like glass packaging. It does have the dropper, which I really wish we could get away from these droppers, but apparently everybody wants them. So here we are. So I got the shade number, oh, that's a lot. I got the shade number 3. I have to swatch it. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be a good shade. So that is it there, but it feels so nice. It reminds me of the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. You remember when that was super popular a few years ago? That's what this reminds me of, but it doesn't feel quite as thick as the Ilia. The Ilia is a pretty thick consistency from what I remember. I haven't used that product in a few years, but that's kind of what this is reminding me of. And I want to say the Ilia has like SPF 40 maybe, SPF 30, I'm not sure. But I keep seeing great things about this brand, so I cannot wait to try it. I almost got one of the blushes. If you've seen, they make blushes also, and they kind of remind me of like the Rare Beauty blushes, but they're not as pigmented as those, and they have SPF 50. So I guess this whole brand, every product has a really high SPF. I don't know, but I had that in my hand, one of the blushes. I ended up putting it back. Now I'm kind of regretting it because I kind of wish I could try it with the skin tint. If you happen to have tried those, let me know what you think, but I didn't end up getting it, but I'm still kind of thinking about it. All right, I did end up getting a new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. If you saw my recommendations or a lot of my videos, this is one of my favorite foundations ever. It probably is my favorite true foundation. And the one I have is fine, but it's getting on the older side for sure. And I actually decided to try a new shade than what I was using before. So I've had the shade Deauville, and that works. So I ended up getting this shade to try out. And I want to say years ago, when I first started my channel, I had the NARS Longwear Radiant Foundation, the one that's in the taller bottle. That is a pretty full coverage. And I want to say I used the shade Vienna in that foundation. I don't know if I'm just making that up or not, but that is shade Vienna. I feel like this might be better for me than Deauville. I don't know. We'll try it out and see. But yeah, I would never, ever, ever, ever be without my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. It is holy grail for me at this point. So I wanted to try a new shade. Just a few more things and we're done. This is another thing I didn't really think about buying till I saw it in the store. I got a new shade in the Kulfi concealer. So this is the shade Cocoa Crush. I have the shade Ice Ice Berry, and that concealer is one I always feel like the reason I don't just love it is because I don't love the shade that I have, which is Ice Ice Berry. And the undertone is okay. It's just a little bit lighter than what I typically like for concealer. So they had at the second store that I went to all the shades of the Kulfi concealer. And I swatched this one, and I feel like this might be a really good shade. This is Cocoa Crush. So if anything, I can mix it with Ice Ice Berry because I like this concealer. I just feel like I don't love the shade that I have. And shade with concealer is huge.
If you don't have a good shade, most likely you're not gonna like the product. Even if it's a really great concealer, you probably won't like it. So that is shade Cocoa Crush. I feel like this might be a really good shade. I feel like it will. So I'm excited to give this a try. And if it's a little bit too dark, I can always mix in a little bit of the Ice Berry color. But this concealer went viral a year or two ago. It was when this brand first came out, and this was like their first product. A lot of people loved it. It was very popular with people with more mature skin, I remember. So I am excited to try a different shade. All right, and then I got a second Makeup by Mario lip liner. I told you, I love these. This shade is something I've wanted for a while. This shade is really hard to find. Usually they don't have this shade in store. This is the shade Travis, and I've seen him use this shade a lot on people. Also, Kellyanne, the makeup artist I was talking about earlier, she uses this shade all the time. This is darker than what I typically go for, but I don't have a lip liner in a color like this, so I kind of want to try it. This is more of a brown, like a mauve-y brown, but I see people using these kind of colors all the time and they look so nice, especially in the fall and the winter. So that is shade Travis. And like I said earlier, I love his lip liner formula. One final thing. Did I need this? Absolutely. Well, I didn't need any of these things, but this I really didn't need. Really, really didn't need it. But for whatever reason, do you ever have those products that you see other people using them, and it's just kind of one of those things that always sticks in the back of your mind, and you constantly find yourself thinking about that product? Is it just me that happens to? And eventually I always end up just buying it. So I don't know why I waited so long on this, but anyway, another Fenty product. This is the Diamond Balm, all over diamond veil in the shade How Many Carats. Okay, I have no reasoning, honestly, for why I wanted this, other than it's just one of those things, just one of those products that I just couldn't get my mind off of it. So here we are. So if you haven't seen this before, it's a light, like white looking highlight. It looks like this, but I see people use it obviously as a highlighter, but I also see people topping their eyeshadow with it, like really lightly, just like barely kind of tapping on their eyes, which clearly I like that look because that's what I have on today. I don't have this, but I have on a similar look. I don't know, you guys. I just really wanted this. I just really wanted it. I have no reason other than that. So there it is there, but it just gives you the wet look. And this is also one of those things where you can really add a lot of it if you want it to be really intense. Like that's a pretty heavy swatch of it right there. Or you can just barely tap your finger into it and just like tap just a little bit on and get just a little bit of that wet look. I don't know. Again, should I have waited for the Fenty Black Friday sale? Yes, I should have, but I didn't. All right, you guys, that is everything I bought in store at Sephora for the sale on the first day. Honestly, I typically end up placing an online order. I don't know if I will at this point because last time I checked, I could get in the app, but I couldn't sign into my account. Something, I don't know, something weird is going on with the Sephora app. I don't know, but maybe I will place an online order. I don't know. Let me know if you've picked anything up. Let me know what you bought. I love to know what other people buy, or if you're thinking about buying something, let me know that too. If you're not shopping the sale, let me know that, because guys, you don't need any of this. You don't need it. I'm just going to put it out there and say it. You don't. So don't feel like you have to buy if you don't want to, or you can't, or you don't need anything, then don't buy. Don't buy. Obviously, this is what I do, so do I shop the sale always? Yes, but it's just because it's fun and this is what I do, and makeup makes me happy and I love it. So just remember that. But I would love to hear from you in the comments. If there is something that I got that you really want to see in a video, let me know what it is so I can make sure that I use that in the try on video. I asked you guys if you wanted to see one haul and a try on all in one, or if you want to see 2 videos. And most of you said you wanted to see 2 videos. So that's why I just did a traditional haul, but the next video you see should be a try on of a lot of these things. But let me know if there's something you really, really want to see. I hope you'll subscribe if you have not already, and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. Also, I will have these products linked below. I will have what I'm wearing linked below. I've been getting a lot of questions lately on Instagram and some here also about my jewelry or what I'm wearing. And if you go to the description box, there should be a little, right below the title of the video, there should be a more button that will expand the description box. And if you scroll to the bottom, I usually put a section that says outfit and jewelry, and it should be listed there. So if you're ever looking for it, it typically is there. But if you don't see it for whatever reason, you can definitely message me on Instagram. But just wanted to put that out there. And as always, they are affiliated links. So I do make a commission that supports this channel if you do shop through them. Thank you. And I think that's it for today. I will see you guys next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.